Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to go over your homework, or at least go over a couple of examples from it, 6.2. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing that we need to do is change our color here. Our topic is going to be the distributive property. We're going to simplify. First, use the distributive property and then combine the like terms. All right, not bad. What does that mean? Well, there is an example right here that you guys can refer to, but let's go through an example together, this first one. One way, depending on how you do the distributive property, you can just take the 2x and then multiply it into each one of those terms in the parentheses. As long as you multiply each term by the thing that's on the outside of the parentheses. So here I'm distributing the 7 to each one of those terms. And then we're going to go ahead and multiply each one of these little sections here. I'm going to get 10x squared plus 6x plus 35x plus 21. And then, of course, when we combine like terms, the last step, we're just going to combine those two. Those are the only terms with the same variable raised to the same power. So we're going to just stick those two together to get that that statement right there. All right, moving on to the next one. Compare area and perimeter. Calculate the area and perimeter for each of the figures below. The area may be written as a product. Include the correct unit on your answer. Your answers will contain a variable. All right, cool. So I'm just going to go to number 11 for our example. And for this one, let's just take the perimeter. Of course, it's going to be, the regular perimeter formula is just going to be twice the width plus twice the length, or twice the width plus the length, whichever one you decide to use. But let's use, or you could just add them all up. I mean, that's also something you can do. So if you just added them all up the long way, you could just say a plus 5 plus a plus 5 plus b plus 3 plus b plus 3. And then, let's think about simplifying this a little bit here. We can have twice a plus 5 plus twice b plus 3. Feet would be one acceptable way to do it. Or you could actually use the distributive property and keep going down. Distribute the 2's into the parentheses there. And then from here we can actually combine like terms, right? We have 2a plus 2b plus 16 feet. That's another way that you could do it. Either one of those ways I think are going to be acceptable as long as you use the appropriate units, which is feet. The area, we're just going to multiply the area, of course, is length times width for a rectangle. So we're going to just multiply a plus 5 times b plus 3, and we would get that. So you could just leave it as a product. I'm going to multiply this out. You would end up with, let's see, a times b would have ab plus a times 3, which is 3a, plus 5 times b plus 15 feet squared. I believe you'd have something that looks like that. Let me check my work here. 15, yeah. Yes. All right, so moving on to the last set here, it says greatest common factor, find the GCF of the given terms. And really, you just want to, you guys can use the factor tree for this if you want to find out your primes. You factor out your primes here for the actual numbers, the coefficients here. You could factor those out, and you see they have a common factor of 5. But what else do they have in common? Well, if you notice, there's a here, and there's a to the third power there, and we could think of that as a and a times a times a. So the common factors they have here, we don't know if they're prime or not, but the common factors there are just going to be a. So we would add a to the mix. And then moving on down the line, there is a common factor of b, so we can factor those out. and then there's one common factor of c. And of course, this is what we'd use for factoring stuff out, so we would basically put the stuff that's left over back into the parentheses. This is not part of the assignment here, but I'm just including this for those of us that want to kind of see where this is going. However, the part I'm about to highlight here is the only part you need to put down. All right, thanks a lot. I hope that helps.